Hello,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm coming down off my high from delivering my session, so
Very good.
yeah.
So, can you present yourself to our community?
Hi, Loryan Strant. I'm from Australia. I'm an office services MVP from way back when it was still BPOS days.
Okay, and what is your job on a daily basis?
Daily, I work with customers to help them figure out what they're going to do with Office 365. So not so much what files they're going to migrate or what mailboxes, but more how do they change the way they think, given they've got all these new tools to do things differently.
Yes, that's very interesting stuff, and I mostly do the same part of Office 365 and helping customer to understand everything.
So what to understand?
Yeah, and clarifying and simplifying.
Yes.
It's important. Anything to
Well, I was
to
just
add?
going to say that it's usually been IT that owned Office 365, and one of the things that I say is you don't own it anymore.
Yeah.
You are part of the solution. You're responsible for ensuring compliance and security and service availability, but it's users who decide how they work, not you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What about your community activities as MVP? Do you do a lot of community event or?
Yeah, I do.
forum?
Well, I kind of went a little bit quiet for about 18 months when my company was acquired, and I was just focusing on making sure that the new acquired combined business would work.
Yeah.
So now that I'm back out and a free man, I'm doing a lot more speaking. So this is actually my first ever Ignite.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot more blogging because now I have the time and clarity. I'm not responsible for other people's payroll anymore,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
can think through things. And I'm involved in a few different user groups. And yeah, speaking at different events, I'm doing a lot of work regarding 365.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of interviews online, make them available, and try and find people who can add value to the conversation around Office 365.
Okay. So about this event, we are at Ignite this year. Very huge event.
Huge, yes.
A lot of news. What are your main takeaways for attendees?
Well, I think the main thing is that Teams is that app hub they're calling it now.
Yeah.
So I think the story around Teams and Skype for Business gives some clarity because we thought we had 4 different communications tools. The reality is we actually have 3. I think the Microsoft positioning around the inner loop and outer loop
Yep.
really helps clear
Cool,
things up.
yes.
Because we've all been trying to figure out our own what to use when and with all those kind of things. So that really, I think, clarifies not just which tool to use, but also how you work and the people around you. But also, I think the innovations around SharePoint and modern sites and modern groups.
Yep.
We've kind of seen groups since 2014, and it probably created more problems than solutions. And all the SharePoint modern things gave us, again, more restrictions than new opportunities. So hearing about the ability to have hub sites,
That's huge.
and hearing all the different things they're going to be doing with SharePoint and connecting it to legacy groups existing groups, those kind of things. It's great to see. I think taking a step back, in 2014 we had this wonderful unification of Azure Active Directory and Windows 10 and Office 365. It gave us a great experience, and then groups came along and just went, everything's here, and it became very confusing. And we had apps and apps and apps, and I think now we're getting back to that point of unification that it's clear of how we actually work. So that's my main takeaway, is that we're on track. This is the new way of working. It's coming together.
Okay, really great summary. I love the idea of inner loop, outer loop. So interesting to see things clarifying
Yeah.
at the end. Okay, very cool. And what are your perspectives? Can you share some perspective in the next 6 or 12 months for you?
Well, I guess the next 6 to 12 months will be interesting to see this pace of change and how we adapt to it, because now we have to kind of, in some things, actually sit and wait to wait for the product to catch up to what we want to do.
Yeah.
We also have to look back at our roadmaps and potentially change what they were. So historically we may have said roll out Skype, roll out groups for files and this and SharePoint for that, and then Teams later.
Yeah.
Now it's a case of Teams first and all these other things come later. Or not necessarily, but so I think that all these innovations, all these changes over the next 6 to 12 months will cause people to rethink how they
Yeah.
work. I think my main task over the next 6 to 12 months is to challenge how people think. So
Okay.
it's not all IT centric, we control and dictate everything, and more, let's see what the users want. What do you want versus what somebody else wants versus how do I work, and mapping that together. So I think we'll see that IT moving what I'll be working on is helping IT to move out of the service provider and into the more business enabler, a business leader.
We see that a lot.
Yeah.
For sure.
So yes, it's going to be a fun journey.
Oh yeah. Thank you very much. And
Thank
maybe
you.
at some point, we will meet at another event as a speaker or somewhere else.
Yeah, I find that the fun thing with these kind of events is I meet people from all around the world, and I end up having stronger friendships with these people in other countries than I do with people back home, because we talk so much online.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.